Hiya folks, so let's get back to a little bit of knowledge sharing, excuse me, and gathering. So I was asked recently, can I do a quick workshop on crystal balls? So I will try and make it quick so we can fit into one video on TikTok. Excuse me. So using my, as you should know by now, or if you don't, my crib method: courage, respect, research, intent and balance. First things first, get your notebook out. You've got to make a record of the things you try and you do. In witchcraft or Wicca, it's called a book of shadows. You might want to call it your spiritual journal or just a general notebook on there. In fact, I will grab mine out to show you as I'm talking, my current notebook. It is through my various notebooks that I brought them together and wrote my little book. So it's very important to write down everything you think or feel, everything you discern, everything you see. So this is my current little notebook that I carry around with me, and you can see it's full of all sorts of stuff. This is a little bit of stuff on runes, and what I'm doing at the moment is I'm starting my study on Ogham, and I like to start with the information bit. So you can see there that I've just written down a whole bunch of information that I simply got off of Wikipedia, off of Google. So that's always a good place to start, you know, bearing in mind my book, any piece of information you find is based on whoever wrote its impression. So it's good to build that up, to read or look at many different resources. But most of all, the courage is to figure it out for yourself, or not just figure it out yourself, but to take that information you've got and add it to what you think. If any of you have seen my my rune and tarot videos, I try to demonstrate just that this is what I think. This is what is written down as the meaning, and then what do you think? How do you turn it into a message? How do you turn it into something meaningful? Because that's the whole purpose of what we colloquially call divination. So when I talk about divination, I'm talking about discerning a message or advice or guidance, or perhaps even a future prediction, you know, depending on what your intent is, what you intend to get from it. So crystal ball, you'll notice I don't have a crystal ball on me. That is because it's not so easy to demonstrate as it would be with runes or tarot, that you can't show it right there, because it's how it connects to you, the individual. So it's actually one of the easiest methods to connect to, because ever since we were children, we've seen patterns. If you've ever laid down on a warm summer's day and looked to the sky and you've seen the clouds, and you've talked to your friend or your sibling, or just to yourself, oh, that looks like a dragon, that looks like this, that looks like that. And you might see something that reminds you of something. Maybe you forgot an item on your shopping list, or it gives you an idea for something that you're currently going through, like some comfort in some way, or perhaps even it reminds you of a loved one that has passed into the next world or next realm. That is divination through oh gosh, I can't remember the word for it. It'll come to me. Scrying. That's the one. Scrying being the colloquial term for crystal ball or anything else. So you can do this using polished crystals, like you might have seen obsidian mirrors, or even an actual mirror. Or anything, any sign that you see. Now the crystal ball itself, that would have, nobody really knows where that started. Probably from around the time we were able to make glass, like very old vintage crystal balls are blown balls of glass. Nowadays we tend to use lead crystal because it stops it from shattering, first of all, but it also gives it a lot more clarity. Now when I'm using it, you will see something literal in it because of the way they skew the world around them. It's sort of upside down and bent around, so you'll see maybe something in it, and then it reminds you of something. But then you also have to, so obviously write that down in your notebook. But then you have to think of, how does it make you feel? Like you might see something that would otherwise feel scary, like a bear, for example. But then what you feel is comforted. So you know that the message that is coming through is one of comfort, of reassurance. So all of those layers have to be written down. You know, what you literally see, what it reminds you of, how it makes you feel. And this is also the same when you do anything like dream interpretation or anything that is a visual stimuli, and different to other methods such as tarot. And then you just take it from there. For example, the bear and comfort might remind you of your granddad, for example. So in essence, your granddad is sending you a message of love and comfort. Or it might be you have a question. You know, when I'm doing my crystal ball, I'll give them the message that I receive, then offer them to ask questions. So you might be looking to move home, say. And what I then see in the ball, because when you're connecting with your ball, because it is kind of an entity, a creature of its own, anything that can change energy, which crystal balls can, of course, changing light energy. Oh, and a reminder, don't leave them out in direct sunlight, because I've done that and it set alight to my wooden base. So, yeah. If you want to cleanse them, put it out in moonlight, a much better idea. Because, of course, much like a magnifying glass, they can cause fire, you know. So, you know, then I'll put my hand on it and I'll close my eyes and I'll just connect with it. And this is the courage part, of course. You know, the intent is answering the question they've got. You've done your respect by connecting with the ball before you use it for the people, connecting with it by touching it, by, you know, talking to it, and somehow it will connect with you as sort of like a friend or a guide or and such. And the balance aspect is also part of the respect, where you don't try and push it too much. So my crystal ball readings are very short, because at some point the crystal ball will just have enough and go, you're not seeing anything, you know. I suppose the research part I've already given you, you know, the understanding of what it is, but also part of the research is building your knowledge by writing down everything you feel. You know, your crystal ball might give you a name, like mine, I feel, contains the energy of my grandma, who was a great mentor and inspiration to me, you know. And anyway, so going back to sort of discerning that message of moving home. So you might see something very abstract. You've got to really think in the abstract, because like the spiritual world, the universe, the gods, whatever it is you want to term them, they don't speak English. Do you know what I mean? They speak a language of feeling, of visual, of perhaps sayings, or for example, moving home, you might see a snail or a hermit crab. So you know that the move could be very slow. That could be the answer. It's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to. So the answer is, you know, be patient. It'll happen when it needs to happen. But in all things, like I say, it's your interpretation that makes it correct. So start slow, please. In my previous video, I've said to you about how people expect things very quickly. They expect them for free. They expect you to be able to just be at, say, my level, or people that are above my level, just like immediately the moment you start. No, it takes years of building up, of focus. And, you know, I get a bit sick of people going, oh, yeah, I'm always like that. Oh, I can't. I got no confidence. I haven't got this. I haven't got that. Whereas, in fact, what they're doing is choosing. It is a choice to remain in a place of fear and to not engage with your courage. So that really is the very first part of any spiritual journey, of trying to connect with any divination method, is, you know, stop the whining and choose to be good. Choose to be good at what you're trying to do, because that is the only way that you will become good, is that, first of all, that choice. And then you write it down, and you write it down, and you write it down. And I'm getting up to 10 minutes now, so I'm going to close it here. And if you've got any questions, please get in touch, but don't be afraid. Just get on with it, for goodness sake. If you want it, do it, and choose to do it. Courage, respect and research, intent, balance, and keep it simple, stupid. See you on the next one.